Hello, I'm Ken Pierce, and I wanted to spend a few moments with you talking about conflict. And I'm actually going to be showing you simply 7 slides on conflict. And to get you kind of thinking about conflict, because I know you're an expert on it, I want you to think about a couple things. First thing is, what do you perceive today to be your greatest conflict in your life? And as you notice what that is, look back over your past and ask yourself, what was your greatest conflict in your life up to the present? And then as you look towards the future, ask yourself, what do you anticipate will be your greatest conflict in the future? Now, this is to get you inside the whole idea of conflict. Now, I want to start by demonstrating or showing you a fundamental principle of nature. And if you recall, nature is our universe. Nature is everything around us. And we are part of nature. We are as much a part of it as a tree or a bush or anything else. Now, all the sciences in our societies, every ology, every research endeavor, is actually studying some aspect of nature, some piece of it that we want to understand, so we can use that to enhance our survival in some way. That's what it's about. And one of the fundamental laws of nature, one of the fundamental laws of science, is the law of symmetry. The law of symmetry is also called the law of balance. It's also called equilibrium. It's got a lot of different names. In biology, it's called homeostasis. So it's a fundamental law that prevails throughout our life, throughout our existence at all levels. Now, here's an example of it. This is a pendulum, as you probably have seen these, and it has a swing to it. And there are mathematical principles involved in that swing. How far it goes, how fast it goes, all that kind of stuff. But what it demonstrates is that there is a duality to our universe. That at every level of our universe, there is an innate duality. If you look at, for example, let's go very small. Let's go to atoms. Everything is made up of atoms. And atoms have particles inside atoms. Well, they've established some time ago now that every atom is a balance, a symmetry of positrons and electrons. So there's positrons and electrons keeping each atom balanced. And particle physicists tell us that if an atom of anything was to be off balance, if that was possible, through the domino principle, our universe would disintegrate. So that the stability of that symmetry is very strong in our universe, in everything around us. Now, of course, if you chunk up higher, let's say to your significant other. If you have been in a fairly stable relationship for a number of years, that means that the law of symmetry dictates that one of you will be primarily an optimist and one of you primarily a pessimist. That duality keeps your relationship stable. That's what it's for. And even though you may at times change to the opposite, your partner will change to their opposite to keep the relationship stable. Now let's take it a step higher. Let's take it to parents and children. Every child perceives one parent to be primarily their supporter and the other parent to be primarily their challenger. And that's nature's way to ensure the maximum evolution, the maximum learning for that child. I once had a set of twins in my office, and I was explaining this principle to them, and I said, so I asked the first twin, I said, who is your challenger? And he said, Mom. I said, the other twin, who is your challenger? And he said, Dad. So it's not about the actual parents, it's about the children's perception of them. Well, that principle applies in everything, and it applies in every experience we have in life. In other words, every experience we've had in life actually has a plus and a minus to it. And we are encouraged by our culture not to believe that, to deny that. but the truth, of course, is that it's there. Now, conflict is all about that. Conflict is the primary tool that we use to learn that principle. Conflict is the primary tool we use to learn about the duality of our universe, of our life. The duality of everything, in fact. In a sense, conflict is a demonstration of this duality. So we know, for example, that if you push the pendulum over here, it has to come back. Everybody knows that. We've tried it enough in so many different venues in our life. We know it's true. It's not going to stay in one side or the other, which means that everything in life has a plus and a minus, up, down, in, out, left, right, black, white, good, bad. That there's this duality everywhere. And that nature seeks a symmetry. So let's take my glass of water here. Whichever way I twist the glass or turn the glass, the water always seeks a perfectly symmetrical balance. That's nature's way. That's nature's law. And it applies not just in water and in pendulums, it applies in our life, in our relationships, in every aspect of our existence. So this being the case, that means that what I hope you remember is that our evolution requires conflict. That's the first point I want you to remember, that our evolution demands that we be in conflict.